Welcome back to Celebrate the Bounty. I'm Chef Shayna, and today at the River Park Farmers Market, we're going to dive into the world of blueberries. So we made it to the blueberry farm. We're at Rancho Not So Grande with John. We're going to learn a little bit more. So tell us about your operation.
Yeah, sure. We started over 20 years ago, primarily as a U-pick farm, but we do restaurants, schools, hospitals, and as many as 9 to 11 farmers markets a week, trying to connect people to super nutrition that's local, low carbon footprint, and good for you.
If I'm shopping for blueberries, how do I know if I'm picking a good one?
If you turn them over and look at the stem end, then you'll see that some have got a little red tint to it. That's like you get at the store, but this is what you're coming for here. And that is a bush ripe, incredibly sweet berry that you can't get anywhere else.
I know that blueberries are one of the most nutritional fruits. What makes them so healthy?
So you get low calories, high fiber, high mineral nutrition, and low sugar in the process. You got everything you need, and something that actually tastes good. And that's what we want to do, is introduce the community to superfoods that aren't green, right? And so they're out there.
John, thank you so much for letting us come out. I know you had a busy day, and I really appreciate the time you took with us. And now we know a little bit more about blueberries. Let's head back to the farmers market and get shopping. Hi, how are you?
Doing well, how are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Welcome, thank you.
I'm looking for some blueberries.
I happen to have some wonderful freshly picked blueberries.
Okay, and what is blueberry season, the prime time for blueberries?
It's really hitting now. Okay, and it depends on the weather too, of course, but right now they're really starting to come in.
When I buy my blueberries, what's the best way to store them?
You can freeze them. Absolutely, they'll freeze for a long time.
Okay, and then defrost them and cook with them or eat them?
Yeah, however you want. Take out what you want. I'll freeze a bunch of it, and I'll fill up a jar. Put it in the fridge, and it'll just thaw there. And then by the next day, I can eat them. And that's how I do it personally.
So what if you were to cook with them? What's your favorite thing to do?
Some people will take, a strawberry or a blueberry and put it in a salad, like a spring or summer salad. It's a good time to use that. Me, I'm simple. I just eat them.
Wonderful. Okay, well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Let's get back to the kitchen. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Discover the Bounty, where we'll have some fun learning about and cooking with California-grown specialty crops. We're here at the Tuesday River Park Farmers Market, and today's specialty crop is blueberries. Blueberries are a delightful addition to any meal, and we're lucky to have the sweet fruit grown right here in the Central Valley. It is considered a soft fruit, but depending on how you prepare them, they can have a variety of textures. Their sweet flavor and versatility are just a couple of the reasons why they are so popular. And a fun fact for you, it is one of the rare superfoods that is not green. When shopping for them or picking them straight off the vine, you always want to make sure there's a little red tint near the stem. And storage is easy, just pop them in the freezer. It's the star of the show and one of my favorite breakfast dishes, blueberry pancakes, but can also turn a good summer salad into a great summer salad. Not only are blueberries delicious, but they are low in calories, high in fiber, have a high mineral content, and are low in sugar, making it a healthy addition to your diet. Let's get cooking. All right, so we're talking blueberries, a very yummy super fruit. Blue on the outside, but actually not blue on the inside. They're kind of green on the inside. And this is a recipe that doesn't require you turning on any heat, which is perfect for this 104 day here in Fresno. We are going to be making a blueberry bliss ball. Say that 5 times fast. So the thing that we're going to start with are some medjool dates. That's going to bind it together so that we can make it into a ball. We're going to add in rolled oats, ground flaxseed, chia seeds, cinnamon, coconut flakes, some coconut oil, and then of course the star of the show are blueberries. We're going to use our food processor here to blend it all together for us, and ready to get started. All right, so I have about a cup of medjool dates here. That's about 9 medjool dates. Dates have a seed in them. Make sure you take that pit out or buy them pitted. And we're going to go ahead and turn on our food processor. So there was a question, could you chop them? You could chop them, but you really want it to form more of like a paste. So you'd be chopping for a while to get that paste-like consistency there. All right, so where did I leave off? We did 1 cup of pitted medjool dates, and as you can see, it kind of makes a paste. We are going to then add in our rolled oats This is gluten-free, so if you are gluten sensitive or gluten intolerant, totally fine recipe. Flaxseed, so I have ground flaxseed. You want to store that in the fridge. This adds a nice protein and omega-3 fatty acids and chia seeds as well. So this is what kind of helps supercharge this recipe. And ground cinnamon. So half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. We'll go ahead and mix that up again. Yeah, so you could moisten, if your dates are overly dry, you could wrap them in a damp paper towel, put them in the microwave for about 15 seconds, and it'll bring them back to life. You can also store your dates in the refrigerator or freezer. If you buy a big thing of dates, just store them in the freezer and it'll help preserve their life a little bit more. So I'm just gonna mix those up so that it all blends well together. I also like making protein balls with cacao or cashews. There's a lot of different options you can do. Peanut butter would be another binder that you could use as well. I like the extra fiber of the dates, and the dates bring in the sweetness. We're gonna add in our shredded coconut, half a cup of shredded coconut, and then I have some for after that we'll roll the balls in. So we'll pulse that as well. And then you're gonna add in the blueberries. And with the blueberries, you could use frozen blueberries as well. If you buy a bunch at the farmer's market and wanted to store some in the fridge but store them in the freezer in a jar, you can go ahead and add frozen blueberries in. So I have, half a cup of blueberries in case you wanted to sample. And then also, and I left this out, just 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. And coconut oil adds a healthy fat to these little Bliss bites. So this is a perfect snack. You can have it for breakfast, take it on the go. You can kind of see it starting to bunch up there. So if for some reason it seems like it's a little too thick, you could add in more coconut oil or a little bit of water as well.
So why would you store the flaxseed in the refrigerator?
To keep it from going rancid, especially in the hot summer days. I like to put it in a mason jar, put the lid on, and store it in the fridge. Same with the chia seeds. All right, I think we have it all nice and mixed together. I'm gonna go ahead and take out the blade there. Make sure it's stirred nicely, and then we'll roll it into our little balls. So this is kind of like a healthy blueberry muffin without baking, if you will. We'll take our tablespoon scoop for consistency, and then go ahead and you'll kind of roll it into a ball. Put it in the coconut if you would like. You could also use melted white chocolate if you wanted to make it a little bit of a sweeter treat. And just roll them up. Pretty simple to do. Again, if you wanted to add in maybe some chopped almonds would be good here, chopped pistachios, all things that you find here in the Central Valley. So we'll roll up a couple, and then it's best to put them in the fridge to set for an hour, but you can also quick chill them in the freezer, about 20 to 30 minutes. When you make a big batch, you can store them in an airtight container in your fridge as well, and then they'll be ready to grab and go when you need them. If you have a sweet tooth and you'd rather them be a little sweeter than not, add in some maple syrup when you're blending it together. I tend to do things a little less sweet and then add sweetness in after. Dark chocolate would be fantastic with this, yes. Dark chocolate chips even put in there, or drizzle. Yes, you can freeze them. I wouldn't try to eat them frozen, hurt your tooth. And then of course you have to make a mess while you're cooking, otherwise we're not really cooking, right?
Is it really cooking if you don't make a mess?
Depends Depends on who you ask, I guess. All right, I'll make a couple without coconut rolls. And you're good to go. If you like it peanut butter, you could, like I said, add some peanut butter here too. And peanut butter and blueberry is kind of like a peanut butter jelly sandwich, if you will. So you really can play with this recipe and kind of mix and match and make it your own. You can see it has a little bluish tint to it. So we have these. I'm going to put them in the fridge to chill. And pull out the ones that were already made. The magic of TV. Let me rinse my hands real fast. Airtight container, or you can wrap them in like some parchment paper in the container. No, yeah.
You mean they're around that long?
Right. Good point. I will serve you. Oh, look, most of these don't have the coconut. So. There you are. Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right. Any questions?
Any questions in the live audience?
None? All right. I like it. Well, bon appetit. Enjoy your blueberry bliss ball. I had a blast cooking with you today and exploring new tasty flavors from the farmers market. Farmers markets are such a wonderful place to find fresh, locally grown veggies and try out new recipes with them. See you next time for another fun cooking adventure.